Hey there you lot, welcome back to Fact Blends Fish. I'm back at work, I'm a bit unmotivated, but we'll have a quick walk around and I'll show you a few things that have gone on the last few days. See you soon. The last week hasn't really been that exciting from the fish keeping point of view. It's nice looking at this tank of grow out fish just cruising and waiting for a feed late in the day. Very peaceful and a little bit of natural light on them with the door open. It's kind of cool. As mentioned in the intro, I'm back at work now. I worked on Sunday, which is why I didn't put anything out on the weekend, and then 2 days off, and then back to it again tomorrow for my next block of 3. So haven't done as much fish work as I would like because I kind of soaked up the last few days of my leave watching the nuggets. We've got a couple of frontoses holding in the big tank, which is nice. It's nice to be breeding frontoses. It's a big job to be catching them out up here, but that's what you get when you put your 8-foot tank up on the top shelf. I've finally caught and addressed an issue that I had a leak for a long time down here on the bottom row, evidenced by a bit of algae on the ground that kind of appeared a time back, and I could just never isolate which tank I thought was the problem until I did a water change on this one the other day, and it sort of gave me the answer I was looking for. And it must have been a very fine leak somewhere, because the tank only dropped like a couple of mils, I reckon, in height. Anyway, we've pulled that all apart, moved the fish, moved the substrate, and I've finally done the job that I always procrastinate about today, where I've done some silicone work. I've put the glass rod in, so it looks bloody awful at the minute. Tomorrow after work, that'll be about sort of 30 hours on, and I'll be able to start scraping off all the excess, and I'll tidy that back up. But I've got to sort of get past procrastination point, because I'm working on changing this rack around. What's happened as a consequence of that leak is that one of the legs has gone a bit mushy and soft at the back of the shelf, and the tanks are actually rocking a bit because it's fallen down about 15 mil, I would think, in the back. And I've decided to go with some new tanks in here. I'll walk outside in a minute and we'll have a quick look at what I've sourced, and we'll gradually be rebuilding this entire rack over the coming months, over summer, and I've just got a bit of work ahead of me, but it's going to be beneficial moving forward. Did some work today with just a water change on this tank. These are DeWinty, Elonocranus DeWinty, a Tanganyika, and some little fire crests, the Virginalis. Still not wowing me much, but they're getting bigger, so hopefully soon we'll see some good colour and they'll start to get quite exciting. The little gold comps are cute. Didn't get any breeding luck out of there, but tank looks fresh and bright, so nice to see clean tanks. Bit crowded around here with my ladder and bricks in the way. This was as a consequence of that leaking tank. I moved some fish about. So in here we've got some fish I've got to put a little bit of work into pairing off. We've got beautiful Neolamprologus Bescheri Canacondi, and there's a clear pair down this end now. I think there's about 6 fish in here in total, and it was a tank that had fry in the past, but it hadn't amounted to much because I just hadn't got to isolating the pair. And I've got some albino brachardis here, the Princess Cichlid. Sort of a similar issue. I'm pretty confident there's a pair here that like each other either side of the filter. So there's a few little breeding projects that I'll get under the way with any luck. I've just got to get more tanks and get to the job. That's probably about all to talk about inside. We'll have a quick look at these, walk out through the junkyard, past the Daphnia culture is I took a scoop the other day and got a little bit out. So some fish were the beneficiaries of some live tucker, which they did enjoy. But I don't want to go too hard on it too early because that will slow us down no end. Hello, Elwood. Oh, and Percy. Percy likes driveway sun late in the day down here in Tassie. So this is what we've picked up, and I've got to thank my friends Alison and Jason for their help with alerting me to these and helping pick them up. These are some leftover tanks from there's a chain store down here called Petstock that have gradually refitted all the stores in their state with new kit, and they threw out a lot of these tanks which were over-engineered to bejesus. They're basically a 4B18 in the old speak, but they're 10mm glass, which is the bonus. And I've spent about a 6-hour shift on 4 of these, pulling out all the various weirs and crap that they built into them. Beautiful big tanks which had virtually no capacity by the end for your fish because of the amount of backdrop that they had in them. But anyway, we've got the guts of that out now. They still look awful. I've got to do a lot of cleaning on these, and I'll cut up some of the backdrop that they used for the backdrop filter, and I'll be able to make bracing out of that. And there's enough glass there that these will be tidy, and they're going to form the basis of that rack. I'll have 8 of these, two rows of 4 across the bottom, and we'll get the 3-footers up the top for some nice projects. So that's all to come. Percy, say good night, mate. We love our Percy. All right. Oop, stretch. Good boy. Thanks for watching, folks, and I'll see you next week.